Okay, welcome back to another episode of Banking Without Borders. Today, we're talking about credit cards in the UK, and we're going to build a UK credit card ladder. So we're going to begin with basic starter cards that are designed to get you into the credit system, including ones for building or repairing your credit file. And we're going to work all the way up to the most premium, invite-only, exclusive cards in the UK. These credit cards, they aren't just about borrowing and spending money. They are one of the main ways to build your credit history, which will affect everything from future credit cards to loans to mortgages to car finance. And they also give you Section 75 protection on big purchases, which means your bank can step in if something goes wrong with something you buy, even if the retailer won't help you. But the part that most people overlook when applying for a credit card, and this is very important if you want to climb the ladder properly, is timing.
Yeah, Johnny, timing matters absolutely, because multiple hard searches close together, they can reduce your acceptance rate. So it's really important to apply for a card where the likelihood of getting approved is pretty high. That's why we developed this tiered ladder. Tier 1 will be credit builder cards, Tier 2 all-rounder cards, Tier 3 purpose cards, Tier 4 lifestyle cards, and Tier 5 exclusive cards. And typically we recommend to switch from Tier 1 to Tier 2 after around 6 months of perfect payments. That should have definitely boosted your credit score enough in order to be applicable for these all-rounder cards. From Tier 2 to Tier 3, 6 to 12 months, really depends. Definitely worth checking your credit score before applying for an additional card. Tier 3 to Tier 4, ideally only when you can actually use these premium perks that these additional that these lifestyle cards additionally offer in order to justify the fees. Plus you have a perfect credit score, and Tier 5 is so exclusive you need to be invited in order to get that. So it's really a lot to talk about today. Let's get started with Tier 1 credit builder cards.
Yeah, I think it's just important to stress that it's not an exact science how quickly you'll move through the different tiers, but you can always check like the credit bureau that you might have access to, like TransUnion, just to see how healthy your score is, and that can be a good indication of when it's ready or when it's time to move up the ladder.
Absolutely.
Starting at the bottom, Tier 1, we've got the credit builder cards. Now, these cards aren't just designed for people who want to build their credit. They could be good for someone who has bad credit and wants to improve, or has made mistakes in the past and wants to do better. The good thing with these cards is they have a higher acceptance rate. They have lower credit limits where, someone who's say 18 years old and who's new to credit cards, that could be more appropriate just in case things were to spiral or you were irresponsible with your spending. These are a good place to start for people that are new or for people with poor credit history. Some of the examples of these cards that are available, the Barclaycard Ford card is an interesting proposition. It's renowned for being good for credit building. It's renowned for having higher approval odds. You get 6 months of 0% on balances, so you could accidentally spend too much money one month and have an opportunity to get enough money to... Yeah, okay, Jan's, indicating that would be bad behavior, and it isn't good, but I guess Jan, an 18-year-old, they've got to get a credit card. It's really important. We've talked about that, and they are more susceptible to making mistakes.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a safety net.
All right, fair enough. I definitely prefer paying off the card at full every single month. But yeah, it's good to have that safety net just in case things actually go wrong.
Just to begin with.
Just to begin with. Barclaycard Forward, you mentioned, Johnny. What else is there? Capital One Classic. It's specifically marketed as a credit builder card. Credit limit, I think, starting at £200 every month, which is insanely low if you think about it. Then Aqua and Vanquish. These are cards specifically designed to build credit. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's what they're for. I mean, ultimately, I think the main thing is just the fact that they have higher approval odds. Realistically, they're not going to do anything different to just having like a regular credit card from a bank and just paying it off each month. That's ultimately what you have to do. You just pay the credit card each month, and that will help improve your credit health, regardless of what type of credit card you have, whether it's a credit building card or whether it's a regular credit card. So it doesn't really matter too much. But yes, Aqua, Vanquish, these type of builder cards are available, and it's more likely that you'll be accepted. So that could be useful for someone who's maybe new to the UK or someone with bad credit history. But yeah, your own bank's entry card is going to be good enough. Like me, I got a Halifax MasterCard when I was 18 years old because I banked with Halifax, and I was good to go.
They already knew you, I assume, right? So the chances were high that they would accept you.
That's a good point. I already had a current account. That is a very good point. That's where using your own bank to get your credit card could be a good idea. But you can always use the soft searches, right, Jan? You can always use the soft eligibility checkers early on just to see. Those aren't hard searches. They won't damage your credit at all. So you always take advantage of those, particularly when you're ready to move from Tier 1 to tier 2. Probably where a lot of people are going to start as well, right? Because I think a lot of people are probably already qualified or already okay, is the Lloyds Ultra credit card.
Yeah, Lloyds Ultra. Fascinating card. Probably the best all-rounder card on the market right now, at least in my opinion. It's free to get. There's no annual fee. 1% of cashback in the first year on all kinds of card purchases. And it's across various categories, whether it's within the UK or abroad. Doesn't matter. And then 0.25% after the first year. Really nice. Also, no foreign exchange fees. So it's a really good credit card in general. And that's, I think it's a solid choice. And if you can skip tier 1, go ahead and start with the Lloyds Ultra. It's a great card. An additional card we should mention is the NatWest Travel Reward card, in my opinion. That's really good for people that are, either frequent travelers or that like to purchase, quite often at NatWest partners. Could be IKEA, for example. That offers 1% of cashback on eligible travel spending. So that's hotels, trains, flights, these kind of things. And then 0.1% for all other spending. And if you're shopping with one of NatWest partners, it's up to 15% of cashback. And that's when it becomes really attractive. NatWest actually claims that their customers average 6% of cashback with NatWest partners on average. That's really, really good. The only downside... Yeah, like who are NatWest partners?
Yeah.
Got to be a NatWest customer in order to figure out, at least according to the
NatWest
website.
are going to quote that.
Yeah, they're not going to list the partners. So you got to sign up, then figure out if you can shop with one of their partners.
The big headline here is 1% on international spending. That's quite generous. And you aren't also paying, like, there are no foreign transaction fees either. So you're getting best of both worlds. That's quite rare. So that's quite good. And look, if you are moving from tier 1 to tier 2, just make sure before you move up the ladder that you are ready. Check your credit score, make sure it's either good or excellent. At least as far as I can tell online, Lloyds Ultra requires a good to excellent score. Not sure about this NatWest Travel Reward card. I think ultimately they're going to want to see a decent credit history at this point. So just check that out. And that's going to move us nicely into tier 3. We called these cards purpose cards. And what their purpose is how, I guess, you want to proceed in terms of rewards, what you want to earn, what you want to get back from your spending. We have cashback credit cards from American Express. Now, this card or these cards could be useful if you were using Lloyds Ultra and you'd already got to the end of the year and you were only earning 0.25%. The Platinum Cashback Everyday card has no annual fee. You can get cashback up to 0.5% on £10,000 worth of spending, and once you go over that in a year, you earn 1% on the rest of your transactions. But this could be a nice way to earn cashback on domestic spending because Amex charged 2.99% on international transactions. So you could pair this with that NatWest travel card. And if you wanted to earn a little bit more cashback and you can stomach a fee of £25, there is the Amex Platinum cashback card where you can get 0.75% up to £10,000 on the annual spend and then 1.25%. Look, if you spend big and you can use Amex widely, by that I mean, the retailers where you spend money, it's accepted, then these can beat most simple cashback cards, but you still need a Visa or MasterCard travel fallback.
You know what's also interesting, Johnny? Airline specific rewards cards. And we got a bunch of cards that are within the Avios ecosystem. As an example,
for sure.
The British Airways American Express, which is free, could be a good entry card if you're already collecting Avios, if you're a frequent British Airways flyer.
Or want to start collecting them.
Gives you one Avios per pound that you spend. And then there's also a plus version of this card with a £300 annual fee. Gives you 1.5 Avios per pound spent on all kinds of transactions, and 3 Avios per pound that you spend on British Airways purchases, such as flight tickets. Where these cards actually differ is with the companion voucher. That triggers once you reach £15,000 in annual spend on each of these cards. The free card gives you an economy card companion voucher, and the premium plus card actually gives you a voucher that's valid for other transport classes as well.
Yeah, that's the big differentiator. That's why you spend £300 on this card.
I assume so, yeah.
Beyond that, you get 3 Avios points per pound on BA purchases, but realistically, it's to get that business class or first class, essentially free ticket. It's always subject to availability. It's not that easy to get them sometimes, but that could be huge, especially if you're going to spend that £15,000 quite swiftly, and you're really invested in getting the premium cabins. Another way to earn Avios points is through Barclaycard. Now, this can work as a nice fallback in some cases, or if you feel like Amex isn't accepted everywhere you go, you can have it as the main card, as your main purpose card. I have the Barclaycard Avios free card, and I use it when Amex isn't accepted. You get an earn rate of 1 Avios point per pound. You get an upgrade voucher, which allows you to upgrade. Sorry, it's obvious, but from economy to business. For example, when you spend £20,000 within 12 months, that can also be swapped for 7,000 Avios points if you wish. There's also a welcome bonus of 5,000 Avios points. Barclaycard Avios also have the Plus card, which has an annual fee of £240 per year or £20 per month. That earns 1.5 Avios points per pound. The upgrade bonus triggers at £10,000 instead of £20,000.
Half.
The welcome bonus is compelling, 25,000 Avios points. I think these two are a really good sort of solution if Amex isn't accepted. But if your purpose is to acquire Avios points, possibly redeem them for premium cabins, and you can stomach the annual fee, I think it's got to be that Amex Premium Plus card. That's like the power user card. Again, all these cards have an FX fee, international fee of 2.99%. making them not very good for spending internationally. So again, they could run alongside the NatWest travel card, for example, which you could use for international spending while you use these cards for domestic spending. What about if you want to get into the Virgin ecosystem? Yeah,
Virgin Atlantic rewards card, that's free to begin with. It gives you 0.75 Virgin points per pound that you spend. Also triggers a reward voucher at £20,000 of annual spend. If you'd like to spend a little more, the Virgin Atlantic Reward Plus card with an annual fee of £160, and that gives you an earn rate of 1.5 Virgin points per pound. If you shop with Virgin, it's 3 points per pound. So that can be actually quite attractive if you're frequent flyer with Virgin. Pretty good card, my opinion, but only for people that are within this ecosystem, that fly Virgin quite a bit, and maybe their company partners with Virgin and they're frequent business travelers. Then I could definitely see a use case here. Besides that, it's probably better to choose a different card.
As we move from tier 3 to tier 4, there's one card that kind of sits in the middle of both. So tier 4 for us, these are premium lifestyle cards where the perks or the benefits are more important to the points. Now, the American Express Gold card, the credit card that I use that has an annual fee of £195, but importantly is free in the first year, I believe sits in between 3 and 4 because it's actually a really good card just to get a feel for how these lifestyle cards work. And in case you don't use them, you don't really mess up and, lose out on the fee because it's free. So I like the gold card for that reason. And it has loads of decent benefits, Jan, like 4 lounge passes for free through Priority Pass. You get 10,000 bonus points when you spend £5,000. I didn't mention this, but you earn 1 Amex point per pound spent. That's nothing fancy, but obviously that's solid earnings because 1 Amex point is worth 1 Avios point. You also have Deliveroo credit. Sorry, I don't know why I'm struggling with that. You also have Deliveroo credit and a cool little welcome bonus of 20,000 points when you spend $3,000 in 3 months, I believe. $3,000 in 3 months. So the gold card is a really nice card because it allows you to earn some extra bonus points. You can earn some nice points. You got a few little benefits like the lounge passes, but you don't have to pay a fee because it's free. Unlike the Amex Platinum card, which is like the premium lifestyle card in the UK right now.
Yeah, at least if you believe Instagram and YouTube, it's being marketed as a statement. Actually, once you get that card, you've achieved it. At least according to some influencers. There's an annual fee of £650 attached to it, and it's
wait. So I just have to pay £650 and I've made it.
Possibly. I'm not gonna rate that now. But the core idea is that you get all kinds of benefits. Such as an unlimited priority pass, which gives you lounge access all over the world. You get a pretty good travel insurance and a stack of other benefits, such as, I think, restaurant credit. There's a £200 restaurant credit involved. And you got also concierge service, many different benefits. But also got to make use of them. I think the restaurant credit is something to really easily make use of. Just gotta eat out once or twice maybe. Depends on the on the restaurant you dine in. And it's I think accepted in 2,000 restaurants across the UK, so that's pretty good. But these other benefits, if you're not a frequent flyer, forget about this card because you're not going to make use of that priority pass or the travel insurance. The point rewards rate is pretty similar. I think it's the same that you have with gold,
it's
right? It's
1-to-1.
Yeah. So that's not really an argument. There's a nicer welcome bonus of 50,000 points when you spend 6,000 points in 3 months, I believe.
Pounds.
Yeah.
6,000 pounds.
6,000 pounds in 3 months, yeah.
But I think it's just so important, isn't it, with these cards that you are looking at those perks because otherwise they're going to get super expensive if you're not making use of them. And, don't get caught up in the status point of this, that people will lead you to believe that this is a status symbol. Quite frankly, it's not. It should be seen as a utility, as an option to have benefits, that you already possibly need anyway. You're trying to supplement things that already exist in your life rather than creating additional spending avenues or alleyways in your life. Before we jump into tier 5, before we go exclusive and invite only, let's just talk about some of the common mistakes. A bit of a recap and just an important checklist to make when it comes to utilizing credit cards and climbing this ladder. I think one of the first ones we mentioned at the beginning, this is super important, but applying too fast, having, too hard searches for credit cards. When you're applying for a credit card, it will go down as a hard search on your credit file. You don't want to have too close together. That could be a bad signal to a lender. And also, Jan, getting an airline card without a plan, right, buddy? Just like accumulating Avios points. I think it's silly, but you almost need to have a plan, don't you?
Oh, you definitely do. I think these cards are only really worth it for people that are frequent flyers with these airlines, that are really involved in the ecosystem. Else, it's just much easier to get cashback. Why getting Avios first and having to think of a plan to redeem them? I mean, I'm someone literally, I do collect Avios, but I always find it really, really difficult to redeem them just because I'm not flying with British Airways that often. I fly Qatar Airways sometimes, I fly Iberia sometimes, but it's also rare, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. So it's really difficult to find. Also reward flight availability for the days I'm traveling. It's a mess. It's a disaster. I don't like that. I don't enjoy that.
It's better suited for single people
cashback.
though, single travelers. Like you try being like, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but it's hard if you're accumulating Avios points and you've got a family of 3 and you want to use them on flights. It's really difficult to find 3 flights in like business and first class cabins.
Yeah. And you have a lot of Avios points, Johnny.
Yeah, I do. Almost 500,000. But that's the problem. I do have a plan. We do intend to use them, hopefully at the beginning of next year. But that is the issue. That's something that you have to factor in. If you are going to use these airline mile credit cards, you want to think about what you plan to use them for.
Absolutely.
As part of your goals. And then just using the wrong card abroad, everybody. This is a big thing. Amex, for example, the Barclays card, Avios card, those things charge 2.99%. Got to keep saying that to you. Do not use those cards for international spending. That's just throwing money down the toilet. You may as well burn it. You may as well use it for, I don't know, toilet paper. And then I suppose having too many of them, Jan. I have 10. Because I'm a finance YouTuber, apparently. I don't go around telling people that, but yeah, I have 10. That's too many, and I have noticed when I apply for credit cards to test them, to share them with you guys, that it does impact my credit score. Be cautious. Try to hold these credit cards for a longer period of time. That will signal to lenders that you are reliable, you are stable. I think that's really important. Don't have too many credit cards. Tier 5.
Yeah, tier 5.
It's time.
Elite cards, absolutely elite cards, super exclusive. I mean, I've never heard of some of these, at least.
I don't even think, some of these you can't even speak of.
Yeah, we got the American Express Centurion Black Card. That's the one made out of anodized titanium, which is, a statement in itself. What an exclusive card. So in order to get that,
how do we get this?
You need to be invited, Johnny. You need to be invited, and you only get invited when you're a long-time Amex customer, and you have a certain annual spend, and we're speaking 250k pounds and above every single year.
200, £250,000 pounds.
It has to be a lot of money that you spend with Amex, and then maybe you're eligible for that card. It's £3,400 for the initiation. So in order to sign up, you got to pay. It's like an exclusive club you're entering into, and then it's £3,400 per year. Starting after the sign up.
They make you pay both fees?
Yeah, to join the club, of course. Yeah, Johnny, that's a sacrifice you're making, but definitely it's one of the most exclusive cards on the market.
In all seriousness,
it gives you very, very interesting features. So there's elite relationship management, which is essentially a better concierge, supposed to handle things for you. If you have a problem, you'll call that guy. Or girl.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. We're not sexist.
Absolutely not. You also get certain statuses with airlines, with hotels. You get private suite access at concerts in certain arenas. Yeah, I think
like a Centurion
booth.
booth.
There's even a Centurion booth. You just mentioned there's an exclusive lounge for Centurion card holders in certain stadiums.
Wow.
O2 Arena is a good example. I think there are other ones as well.
That's quite interesting because if you paid an annual fee of £3,400 and you were getting that included, are you getting those sort of benefits included?
That's a good question.
Because I imagine if you got like tickets in an exclusive booth to go and watch Taylor Swift,
I'm too poor to know.
it's going to be expensive, isn't it? So you probably are getting a lot of the value back for stuff like
Or
that.
do you have to pay a ticket and it just gives you a better seat?
Yeah,
That's the question.
It smells like that. Because Amex Gold, for example, I can go to Brighton, who are sponsored by American Express. The football club is sponsored by them. I can go and there's a specific booth for Amex card holders, but you have to pay for the ticket.
Yeah.
But the booth is beautiful and you get food, champagne, lovely view. But
Why would you buy a ticket for the Brighton Football Club? But that's another question.
Well, they might be paying. No. They might be paying you. They might be playing your team. You might be a Brighton supporter. People listening to this might be supporters of Brighton Football Club. I support Manchester United. But yeah, the big one though, the one that shocked me the most with the Centurion card is the fact that when you land at an airport, someone might meet you at the plane door and say, "Hello, guten Tag, Herr Wortemann.
Yeah.
Please join me, and I will take you through security and immigration."
I think that's awesome.
They'll walk you through.
I've had that once when flying certain business classes. If you're a little late, that happens too sometimes, and then they just walk you through an extra door. And I've had that happen to me once, and I felt amazing. Felt like James Bond, like a very important person. So I think that's great. If that would happen to me every single time, I mean, for me this would be a benefit. I think that's great. I like that, especially because they had a little cart, drove me around, didn't have to walk. I was so fast, and that's amazing.
See, I was wondering that. Like, if someone meets me at the door, like, they better walk fast, because when it comes to getting through immigration and security, I am going so quickly off that plane every time. And if they're not walking fast enough, I'm just not even going to bother.
They come with a golf cart.
They're just a nuisance. The funny thing is, though, with the Centurion card that I laugh at every time when I see it is that they still charge 2.99% on international transactions.
Wow, that's funny.
It doesn't matter. It is still not waived. Amex will not give that up. JP Morgan Reserve UK card. Wow, this one is big, isn't it, Jan?
Yeah, absolutely. It's for sure made out of something very, very exclusive. It's made out of laser engraved brass and palladium, and it is heavier than the Amex Centurion card, which is already made out of titanium, which is one of the heaviest elements I think there is, isn't it? Or one of the lightest. I'm not sure, but it's an exclusive element, and this one is more exclusive, so it's better. That's at least the claim that they make here.
But it's cheaper. There's an annual fee of £500. So, it's probably harder to get the JP Morgan card.
Maybe.
But,
is it though?
If you're worried about money, it's a better option.
Gotta be a JP Morgan private banking client, and then you can get that. And typically, gotta invest at least a few £1 million of them in order to qualify for this. And then they might invite you
10 million
to get that card.
Do you know you have to have £10 million in assets? Does that mean equities?
Yeah.
Does that mean like houses, like mortgages with JP Morgan? I wonder what that means.
I think you just got to be part of the JP Morgan private banking program. So whenever you qualify for that would be able to, they would be able to give you that card. That's my understanding of it.
What like at least Platinum comes with stuff. I mean, the Centurion card comes with stuff, but what do you even get with JP Morgan?
High limits. Good travel insurance, also certain, a points boost.
Good travel insurance. Thanks, guys.
Travel insurance, Johnny, that's what it is. And some other high-end perks as well.
I've got £10 million of assets with JP Morgan, and in return, they've given me healthcare.
What other benefits are there? That's a good question.
It's a flex, mate. It's a flex. It's a flex. I've got a laser engraved brass palladium card. It's a flex, man. That's what all it is. I mean, you get some extra points on travel. You get some dining perks.
Brass. What's that? You've not heard of that.
brass.
Yeah. Need to be an expert of the element table in order to really fully appreciate what you're getting here. It's fascinating. I mean,
that's it. And I'd really love to hear from people about what their credit card setup looks like. What are you using at the moment? Do you have multiple credit cards? Please do share in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And what are we going to discuss next week?
We're going to talk about Revolut Ultra and Klarna Max, which are really attractive debit cards for premium customers. Definitely worth checking out the next episode. I'm excited to talk about these two cards. Big thank you for listening to this. It's been a pleasure as always, and as Johnny mentioned, write your credit card stack into the comments. I'm excited to engage in discussions. And it's been great. Bye everyone.